Michael, it must be still settling in that you've had a whole week of training.
Yeah.
How's it gone?
It's been good. We've had a good week. We've had to be a little bit mindful of the players. Obviously the schedule had over Christmas as well, which so we were able to give them maybe an extra day than what we would normally do. But the training days have been good, and the players are in good spirits, because obviously players who maybe had been out of the team got the opportunity to play against Brentford, so it's good for them to get game time. And obviously the rest of the squad are coming off a decent period over Christmas.
And injury wise, how are we looking?
We're all good other than Ryan. Ryan Shawcross is still not ready yet. We hope that with a good week's training in him next week, and obviously the 9-day sort of period till we play on the Monday night will give him a better chance than this week has done. But he's the only real absentee.
Given the matches we've played so far and the personnel you've used since you've come in, and I'm quite mindful there's a transfer window on at the moment, do you think you've seen enough in the current squad to think we can get out of the situation that we're in at the moment?
Yeah, I do. Genuinely believe that. We've kind of narrowed the training group down a bit, which has helped us. Trying to obviously build a tighter group as well, which makes things a bit easier, makes it easier to build that spirit within the group as well. Less disgruntled players obviously helps as well. But look, we recognise that there's still areas of the squad that are a little bit light, a little bit vulnerable. So we're actively trying to add the right players. But we won't just sign players for the sake of signing them. They need to be players, to be honest, that I feel will come in and affect the starting 11. Not necessarily players that are going to just come back to be part of the squad. We'd like players that will affect the starting 11. We'd probably like a little bit more youth in the squad as well. I think that the two lads coming back around it, Julian and Goy and Thibaut, have been good since they've come in. I think they've added to the training, and the challenge is there for them to obviously try and force their way into the team.
You've talked about the youthful players coming back, and do you feel that, given the squad you've got, and you've made it a tighter squad, do you feel that they have the ability to impress and get into the starting 11 with the pace and the power that they have?
Yeah, I do. I think particularly, they're both wide players, obviously, and it's not an area of the pitch where we have loads of options. As I say, we've typically we've been consistent on our system with either playing, essentially with a 4-3-3 in a couple of different formats. But certainly the two lads, give us additional options in the wide area, as does Tyrese. Obviously, we see, him playing the level of his performance away at Huddersfield. I think the young players have certainly invigorated the squad.
And looking on to the game against Millwall, obviously Gary Rowett comes back. I don't know how that affects people. You're a manager, you tell me. But what do you know about Millwall? They're obviously doing very well. They're
on a very good run. Gary's had a very positive impact since he's been in there, clearly. I watched a good bit of Millwall in recent seasons because I had some of my international players were there at the time. But I think that they've found a system that works for them. They're decent offset pieces as well. We have to be mindful of that. But they're a team that's got that little bit of buoyancy and that bit of consistency in their form. But equally, as I say, I think we're moving towards that as well. We have the opportunity for our third win in 4 games, and it's a big opportunity for us to take 3 points.
It's a massive game. You can't underestimate. Yeah, we're out of the bottom 3.
Yeah.
With the games coming up.
Yeah.
Fast and some difficult games.
Yeah.
We really need to get a win, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think that when we look at the nature of the championship, it's very hard to predict when you will get the wins, and you sometimes maybe win games that people don't expect you to, and equally possibly you don't win games where maybe you're expected to. So I think for us the main thing is building on the performance that we had against Sheffield Wednesday, the performance against Fulham, and obviously the performance against Huddersfield, and making sure that we add it to that obviously are the results. And I think that the team is certainly showing good signs of progression, positive signs of progression, but as you rightly say, that can only be reflected in 3 points, and we have to make sure that along the road that we pick up as many points as we can here. I think we've been decent here in terms of our home form since I come in, but equally we have to make sure that every opportunity we get here at home that we take 3 points.
I've mentioned the transfer window. I'm sure lots of people are going to discuss who's going to be in and out for this transfer window, but everybody is mindful about financial fair play, and hands may be tied to a certain extent. You've said that you knew that when you came into the club.
Yeah.
Do you worry that if any of our better players are taken for whatever reasons, that the remainder of the squad you have can get us over the line for this season? Because there are a lot of people, excuse me for saying this, that think without some of our better players, and we all know the players that people might be looking at, are at best bang average. Does it bother you?
Certainly, I wouldn't ideally want to lose any of our better players, but like anything, you have to address that situation when it arises. Obviously, the level of perhaps the fee, the level of the player's current salary are all factors that we have to consider when any decision's made on any players. The players who have gone out of the building have freed up some wages for us, which means we're in a position to go into the market and look for options. And we have been doing that. It's been tricky, possibly because our league position makes it maybe less attractive for players to come, and we're predominantly looking at players because of the financial fair play in a loan situation, really. But we have to make sure that those players, if and when we make that decision to bring players in and they're positive about coming here, that they're the right types of players as well. So yeah, at the moment, if we were in that situation where we were going to lose someone, we'd certainly be very keen to make sure that it doesn't weaken us, which means we'd obviously have to go into the market and strengthen.
I guess what I'm trying to get out of you is, have the club told you if a certain offer comes in for certain players, they have to go?
No, not at all. We're not in that situation at all. We have to, at the end of the day, this club has paid a lot of good money for players, obviously from their time in the Premier League and coming down into the Championship. So that's always a factor, and when you make decisions on players, what you paid for them as well. So I think. But there's never been any conversations where it's been a situation that we must take that or we have to do that. What we've done today is try and create a little bit of headroom in the salaries, which allows us possibly to go out and maybe find players a little bit cheaper, but equally players that are very hungry. And I think that's the key to staying up is the desire within the squad to stay up, building a squad that has that hunger, has that desire, and players that relish the opportunity to come to this club and see it as a positive step in their career, and that's the type of profile of the player that we look for.
Presumably you'll want more players out than in, because of the situation. You've said nobody else can get into the changing room at this moment in time. But do you think that will happen? Yeah, well, we've had we've had 3 players who have gone out. Obviously, Cameron Carter-Vickers has gone back to Tottenham. Badou and Dai's gone back to Turkey, and Peter Atobo's gone to Spain on loan basis. So that's created room in the squad. It's created room in the wage budget as well. But equally, there's still 1 or 2 players on the periphery that I think, for the reason they came here, it hasn't been a positive experience. It hasn't really worked out for them. It's difficult for players when they're brought to a club by one manager and ultimately they end up working for another one. So there's still 1 or 2 players that I think it would be certainly in their benefits if they moved on, and equally that'll give us the opportunity to add the 1 or 2 bits of quality that we feel that will help strengthen the team. I don't envisage us bringing in 5 or 6 players, for example, but ideally if we had 5 or 6 that did leave, I think it would give us a more focused group of players to work with. Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.